Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Holland and today I'm going to do a home tour. Though I want my channel to be more personal style related, I feel like the home is a good extension of that and kind of a good introduction to my own personal style, especially because this home is the first home that I've really had the chance to make my own since moving out of my home when I was like 18 and living with like boyfriends, roommates, whatever. I've never really had that creative freedom to do what I wanted to do. And now that I live with my boyfriend here in California with like a totally new lifestyle, totally new like area, like we live in California now, I don't live in Vancouver anymore, and my boyfriend and I have very similar style. It's been really fun to design this place together. I say like design very lightly because we are renting this place, so we don't have like total freedom to do whatever we want with it. We're not gonna like paint or hang too many things. We're kind of just buying all the furniture and whatever we can to kind of make it our own. But that kind of presents its own kind of challenge and then sets us up for the future when we do buy our own home and then we can kind of make it really our own. We're buying things and kind of putting this place together with that in mind so that we can be really prepared for when we have our own place and can do everything that we ever wanted with it. But for now, we've been slowly decorating this place and I've been wanting to do this video for a bit, but I just feel like we haven't been ready to kind of show anything yet. But even now, like I don't think we're definitely, we don't have even some of the basic furniture. But I think showing how it is now at the end of 2024, when we go into 2025, kind of over the next year, looking back, it'll be cool to see how much we've changed and see if our styles kind of remain the same and or what we've been able to do with it over the past or over the next year. I would say that our style right now, it probably comes off as quite rustic, and that's not entirely wrong, but I think we're going for more like Spanish revival. I think it kind of plays in that the fact that my boyfriend's from California, like Southern California, and he's also Mexican. Like I love those whole kind of, you know, outdoorsy and kind of more natural textures and with like some pops of like color, more like warmer tones too. But I come from Vancouver, Canada, so again, more like natural colors and textures, but a bit more cooler toned is what I think of when I think of Vancouver. More of like the darker woods and greens and I don't know, cooler tones. So we've kind of like, I feel like mixed that together almost in like our home, kind of where we've come from. But I do want to lean more towards like Spanish revival. Obviously we can't, like I said, like do really cool textures or anything on the walls yet, and we're kind of limited by how things look with like the kitchen and everything, but we're kind of hopefully adding enough things to make it look like how we want it to, kind of leaning towards that Spanish revival. Why I say that it looks like we're kind of leaning towards more rustic at this time is because a lot of those pieces that we have purchased have been rustic looking, but we haven't been able to grab everything that we wanted to yet to kind of make it well-rounded like Spanish revival vibes. I feel like a lot of like Spanish revival too is like the black railing and that kind of thing in homes and like plaster and stuff, which obviously we can't do. But like I said, we're setting ourselves up for the future. So I'm very excited. Okay, but enough talking. I'm just gonna show you a quick tour, I guess, of our place. And like I said, we don't have all of the things, but we're getting there, so yeah. You know what, like furniture is so expensive and we have only been living here we moved in at the beginning of August, so about 5 months. And when I first moved in, or when my boyfriend and I both moved in together here, I was like, we have so many things to buy. We have to buy this. And I think we're both in agreement that we wanted to get rid of a lot of the things we had already. Well, I didn't have a lot because I moved here and knew that I wanted to kind of start over when I moved here like a year and a half ago. So I still hadn't purchased a lot of stuff, even though I'd already been living here for about a year when we decided to move in together. So I was like, ready. I was just like ready to buy everything and start over. But he had a few things. He was living with a roommate before, but he kind of chose to leave a lot of stuff with his roommate and he agreed to kind of start fresh. But when we moved in together, I was like, okay, so we need this, and this. And he's like, you need to slow down because that is a lot of money and a lot of pressure, which is true. Because furniture is expensive. Like not even furniture, like anything for the home is expensive. And it's funny because it's one of those things where like unless you host people, not a lot of people see, like it's just for you, it's just for your comfort, it's your home, and it's expensive. So I'm definitely also one of those people that I will invest in things. Like I'm not an IKEA person, I'm sorry, like, or Temu or whatever. Like I want to buy something that will last. I don't I want quality pieces because furniture is expensive, and if you're gonna spend that money, you might as well spend it on something that's gonna last. That's how I feel about a lot of things, like clothes and stuff too, which again is why, again, this is how personal style comes into this. Yeah. But okay, enough talking. Let's do a bit of a tour. Another reason I wanted to kind of do this now was because it's just after Christmas, and so we still have some of our Christmas stuff up, so it kind of looks more full and homey than usual. Like next week when we take everything down, it's gonna feel kind of empty again, so until we get more furniture. But that's why I was like, this is a good time. It looks cute right now. So here's our home. Welcome, welcome. So we walk in our door and we have the living room, and then you can see straight through. Sorry, that was a washing machine. Straight through the dining room and the kitchen. We'll start in the living room here. We bought, there's actually quite a bit of stories already to all these pieces. So actually I started with the couch. That was the one thing I bought when I moved to California, and it's from CB2. I got it like, what is it, like special order. It was a really good quality leather because I wanted to invest in it. I wanted it to last. This Samsung frame TV, if anyone remembers, I don't know if anyone was following me before, but this is my third iteration of the Samsung frame, this TV. I actually started, when I first bought the TV when I moved to California, and my washing machine starting again, in sweet laundry though, can't complain. So when I first moved to California, I bought a 55-inch Samsung frame, and my friends at work tried to convince me like, that's too small, you're gonna regret it. And I'm like, no, I'm not like a big TV person because I don't really watch TV. And I didn't want my place to look like a theater. Like I don't play video games. I don't really watch a lot of TV. It's just like something I'll put on the background sometimes. But when I got the 55-inch at my old place in Santa Monica, it was so small. Like it looked so small on my wall. I was like, you guys are right. So then I exchanged that for a 65-inch. And again, it was not big enough. It just, you guys, I don't know. I drew it out on the wall. Like I had the tape, the green tape. I was like, this is what 65, it'll look good. It did not look good. But I knew that I wasn't gonna stay there for that long because the rent in Santa Monica was wild. I was like, I can't financially afford to, I will never financially recover if I stay living here. So, and I knew I was gonna move in with my boyfriend who I just met eventually. So I was like, I'm gonna wait. So when we moved in together, I was like, hey, we're getting a bigger TV. So here it is, the 85-inch. And it's the biggest one Samsung has, so there you go. Like, we're maxed out, done deal. This media station is from Crate & Barrel. We actually got it for half price at the Crate & Barrel outlet in like, I think Northern California. We were doing like a road trip to Portland, and on the way back stopped there, saw it, grabbed it, perfect. The moss, oh my gosh. Okay, so there's a story with the moss, and I'll come back to it after because I have to go to it starts with the dining room table, so we'll start there. But we have the Christmas tree right now. Let me close this because you get the full effect when this is closed. And you guys, I haven't had a real, like it's a real Christmas tree. I haven't had a real Christmas tree since I was like a teenager, since I lived with my dad. So this was very special to me, and I love her. There was kind of some back and forth about like the theme and how we'd go with like the ornaments, but maybe next year we can explain some of the ornaments because we actually have already gotten probably like 10 on our own. A lot of these are kind of what I had left over, and I'm probably gonna get rid of them. They were just kind of just like fill in the blanks for this year. But we are gonna have our own like unique ornaments that we collect every year. Like I wish I could do a gorgeous like Kim Kardashian tree where just everything is a theme, one color, but I don't know. I kind of liked having like little stories with all the ornaments, so especially this coffee one. And then we're going into the nook. So this home has, I'm gonna call them two nooks. That's what Chris and I call them, my boyfriend Chris. We have two nooks. So this is Chris's nook. It's kind of like our equivalent of having a like man cave and then like a, I don't know, walk-in closet for me, but this is his like man cave, or nook is what we call it. But this is his. It's almost basically done. He's got everything I think he wanted to put in here. He has this record player we got at a vintage store. Vintage store, is that what it's called? But plays records. It's rewired with Bluetooth, so he can connect his phone and just play off the speakers too. Obviously he's hung all of his guitars, and he has like some liquor. And yeah, it's kind of like a little bar area as well. And this I got from Vancouver last time I was there, and link her below. And yeah, that's his nook. I think it's super cute. And I hung the mistletoe above it. So yeah, that's kind of the living room. As you can tell, we don't have we don't have a lot. We want something under the window where we can put our shoes and or like sit, so that when we're putting on our shoes, we can sit there. And we also obviously need like a coffee table, but we haven't seen one that we really like. Because you'll see, we actually have a lot of wood, like natural wood, especially throughout the space. And we don't want more wood, like we have enough wood. So I think we're thinking some sort of like natural stone, but we haven't found any that we really love. So luckily, like that is one thing that we haven't splurged on in the last like 5 months. But that is something that we're looking for. But you can imagine how without like the tree being here and the lights, it's kind of very empty. But it's nice, we're getting there. I also really want a rug, but Chris is like anti-rug because he runs really hot and he's like, I think it'll just be too hot with the rug. But I think the rug would tie it all together. Even if it's something thin, like we don't need like a shag carpet, like just something. Okay, and now we move into the dining room, which is probably my favorite room, even though again, it's kind of simple right now. But if you follow me on Instagram, you'll recognize this table. This is my pride and joy. I've always wanted a table like this with the texture. It's basically a tree cut in half, big enough to host a bunch of people and or like work at, whatever. And yeah, I found it. I was actually looking, I was looking online and I saw it online I saw one similar to this for $6,000. And I'm like, you know, it's an investment. It's the one I want. I'll never have to buy another. Should I do it? But there's this store, you've probably heard of it, but this store in California called Olive Ateliers. And I followed their Instagram account back when I lived in Vancouver. And I was like, you know what? They might have something there. And I've always wanted to go there. And now that I live here, let's go. And they had this table. It was pricey, but honestly, like the best thing. I would buy this again. Actually, I would buy this again because we're looking at kind of hosting parties outside. Not that we have a large outside space at all, but hosting people outside. And I'm like, we should just get more of these. But it was $3,000, which actually isn't bad as far as dining room tables go. Like it fits, you can seat 3 people on either side and then like one at the end. We need to get more dining room chairs though. And then we bought the matching benches. I think they were like $700 each. So we have this one here, and then we keep this other one here because sometimes we put stuff on it, or sometimes we use it as a coffee table, or when we have people over and then we pull the table out and we put it obviously on the other side and people can sit there. And yeah, it's gorgeous. I love her. And you probably recognize these things because this is how I organize my life. I actually have a 3rd planner that I'm going to start using in January. I am going to do a whole goal setting productivity video. That'll be one of my next videos because I am so big on that, but that'll be in another video. But my planners is kind of where I sit every morning, have my coffee, do my journaling, my planning, that kind of thing, which is why this space is so important to me. And you probably saw on Instagram, if you follow me, that I'm really into like tablescaping right now. And I've obviously just started, so just kind of exploring it, but I just love the idea of just having like nice, not even like centerpieces, just like setting the vibe with what you have on your table. It kind of gives Chris anxiety. I think he likes more clean, minimalist space, but I feel like it just like, I don't know, it just makes it feel a bit more homey. But I told you I was going to tell you about the moss. So basically at Olive Ateliers, which like I said, we bought the table, the benches, and the mirror. My pride and joy mirror as well, the mirror. And we bought some kind of decorative items too. Like we bought this bread plate, I guess, and this bowl, and this was our first like decorative item that we bought from Olive Ateliers. And it was kind of presented like this with like moss in it, not the pumpkins, but at Olive Ateliers it had the moss. And the moss kind of sold us because we're like, okay, that's cool. It kind of brings the outside in, like Pacific Northwest, rustic, love this. So we brought the plate up to the cashier at Olive Ateliers and we're like, hey, we'll take this bowl and like, does the moss come with it? And they're like, no, the moss isn't included. And we're like, really? You're not gonna give us the moss? Because I think this was like $140. So we're like, we'll pay for the moss. Like it's kind of what sold us. Like we just want the moss. And they're like, no, like you can get the bowl obviously, but like the moss isn't included. We're like, what? why wouldn't you just give us the moss? So we're like, fine, we'll get our own moss. So then we went to some guy, the Orchid Man at like the flower district in downtown LA. And he sells moss, preserved moss, by like the box. I think it was exclusively by the box. Like we couldn't have bought less than a box. It was like a box of like moss for $50. And Chris is like, well, now we got to use all this moss. So he's put it here. You'll see moss throughout the apartment or throughout the house. So he's like, you know, it'd be cool, moss in a big planter. And then he put moss around the planter. You also might have seen it in his nook. So we have moss all around his bottles too. And it's kind of like our little running joke, like see moss, see moss, see moss. So you see moss, see moss. Yeah, so there's the moss. Also, side note, Jingle Jangle by Trader Joe's. These chocolates, I'm obsessed. I actually need to get rid of that because I'm just gonna eat that whole thing. But yeah, that's our dining room. Obviously it's very empty. I want to get more dining chairs. Also in the living room, I want to get more, like a couple like lounge chairs because we need more seating when we have people over. But I'm hoping I can get something that can kind of double as like dining room / like lounge chairs. And we want to get some more, or we want to get a couple bar stools for the kitchen part here. And we've seen someone at Facebook, and this girl is like the worst replier. Like she's replied to me twice, but it's like 2 weeks in between each message. And I'm like, just sell me your stools. Like they're the only ones I want, the only ones I've ever seen that I liked. Just sell them. I don't know why she's so bad at responding. So I'm just waiting for her. But now I'll take you into my nook. So Chris has his nook there. Mine is, we're not calling it a closet because it's not a closet, it's a nook. And it's very underdone. So I think we were really working on getting his nook done, more so because it was easier to find everything that he wanted. He already had like a vision of what he wanted. My nook, which I hadn't really thought about until recently because I was like, I'm fine working at like the dining room table or like the counter or whatever, but he's like, no, you should get your own space. And now I do agree, like I want my own kind of space. So this is like recent takeover of this space to be my nook in the future. But it's very messy. And I'm only showing you so that I can show you in the future how much it's changed. But I'm actually in the middle of like mailing out packages and organizing and stuff. But this is the nook. So you can see it has potential. It actually has these cute built-ins here, which I kind of just store. What do I store? My sunglasses and like some jewelry. Obviously my fragrances, and Chris has his. So we're gonna get more storage for that on the wall here. I do have some storage up here of like some old shoes and like travel stuff and whatever, hanging some bags, and this is like closet space and more storage. So this is kind of what it started out as, is like storage, closet space, and like more storage down here, which is what I'm organizing currently. I actually just ordered like 8 boxes from the Container Store that we're picking up tomorrow, so we're gonna really organize this and make it look a lot better. Yeah, this is kind of what it is right now. Very messy. Ooh, we also got this stool from Olive Ateliers, which is kind of like just so that we can put things away up on higher shelves in the kitchen, but I've also been using it to like sit. So I have to get a better seat actually. But my plan is to kind of use this as a recording / office space. I'm gonna get like a vanity mirror, vanity lights, and really organize this and make it a lot prettier. But that's my nook right now. It was actually taking a lot longer than I thought it would because I'm really enjoying showing the space. There actually is a lot more to it now that I'm like talking through it. But yeah, this is the kitchen. Again, pretty simple. Like there's not much we can do to it as renters. We, like I said, are gonna get stools. We got this like magnetic knife thing, and we have a spice rack. We actually have like 40 of these. Chris is kind of just waiting on me to label them all. We finally decided on a label design, and I bought this. This is actually, don't look at this. This is actually a label maker. So I just bought like a thick label maker, like they make the thick labels, and we can print out all of the spices that we want, put them in here. This is like our makeshift spice drawer right now. So he's just waiting on me to make all the labels for the jars, and then we'll organize all of that. Yeah, Chris has like this Mandalorian thing he got last year at Comic-Con that protects the spices. So I have nothing else to say about that. Yeah, this is the kitchen. I don't know what else to say. It's our little coffee station. This is all of our coffee. Most important little corner in our home. We got so much coffee for Christmas. It's amazing. And yeah, we're lucky to have in-suite, very nice, like LG laundry, like, and then this is what I got for Christmas from Chris. I've always wanted a KitchenAid, and he got me the limited edition, like, forest green one with like the wood bowl that's like real wood. I don't know if you can like hear that, if that makes sense that it sounds like that, but it's like legit wood, and like there's actual instructions, like you have to treat it a certain way, like you can't, like you have to wash it right away, you can't leave it sitting for a while, and you have to treat it every once in a while with like, I don't know, some like wood treatment or like walnut oil or whatever, and like obviously only hand wash, no, it's not dishwasher safe, and like everything. So I don't know, I really do want to get back into baking. That is like a goal of mine in 2025, but even if I don't, like, it's just, the vibes are great, and I'm happy to have it here. And this is Chris's Vitamix. He's a smoothie guy for sure, but he used to be a chef. I think I've mentioned that before, but he got this from one of the old kitchens he worked at, because it only has, I guess it's supposed to have 2 speeds, like high and low, but the low doesn't work, so it just has 1 speed, full speed. And that's what he uses to make smoothies, because he got it for free from my kitchen because it was broken, and I mean, it works. So honestly, we're working on like organizing the cupboard space, because it was really good when we first moved in. There's actually quite a bit of storage, but now that we've been here a bit longer, we're like, we need to be a bit more strategic, because we've added a lot, and we need to be a bit more organized. But yeah, that's kind of the kitchen. Before we go to the bathroom, again, I will say, like, you saw that we were using my nook as a bit of a closet. The storage in this place isn't that great, and that's another thing that we've had to kind of work on, is there's like that nook closet there, there's this storage here, and then we have one small closet in the bedroom. So we've kind of had to spread out where we put like our clothes and stuff. So in the nook is kind of like our everyday clothes. In here is kind of like pants, towels, and linens and stuff as well. And then like our underwear and gym clothes and stuff, which kind of works out because Chris and I often have like different schedules. It's the bedroom and then it's the bathroom. So we have different schedules. So like sometimes I'll wake up really early and he'll sleep in, or vice versa. So it's kind of nice that we can kind of just roll out of bed quietly and then come in here and get our stuff, so that we don't bother the other one with like going through the closet or drawers or anything in there. So it kind of works out. And then this is our bathroom. Super simple, gorgeous, big shower with a rain shower head, I guess, and like a handheld thing too. The window's kind of nice. I love all the natural light in here. Like there's no light on right now, it's just all light. The tile's really nice. Chris kind of added some extra shelving here and here for like my shampoos and stuff. And oh, guess what? More moss. Sea moss. And yeah, vanity, mirror. I actually like that you open this and there's a mirror on this side as well, so that, I don't know, I can be like extra close to do my brows and stuff to the mirror. I don't have to like lean over the sink. That's kind of like all of our stuff. So good storage in here. I wish there was more storage in here though. Obviously, like there's the drawer here I put my makeup in, and then just kind of like hair stuff under there. But again, I think with having my nook done, when I get that whole vanity situation done, I'll be able to store a lot of this in here, in there, and then Chris can kind of take over more of this, because he has a lot of hair products too, actually. It takes a lot to tame that hair of his, so I'm sure he's waiting for that to happen too. So really, I think the next step is the nook. Okay guys, now I'm going to show you the bedroom. So, I mean, if you didn't know already, it's a 1 bedroom, 1 bath. But this is a bedroom probably the least designed, quote unquote, at this point. It's kind of small, but it's nice because I don't know if you've had this experience, but I know Chris and I talk about how when we've been living with like roommates in the past, usually, you know, like you have your common space, but normally you just hang out in the bedroom and that's kind of it. But I feel like here it's the opposite. Like we definitely come to the bedroom obviously to like sleep and stuff, but we love the rest of the house so much that we spend a lot of time out there. So it's kind of nice just to have this like simple bedroom that's actually just for sleep. With that being said, we have had a couple of additions. Well, just one really, but I'll get to that in a second. We have like a bed frame, okay? Like we don't have a headboard, but we have a bed frame. Let's just get that out of the way because I know it doesn't look like much, but we do have like, the mattress isn't on the floor, but We definitely want to still get a headboard, but I feel like that's like the lowest on our priority list unless we find a really good one on Facebook Marketplace or something. And this is the last of the closet space, and literally like that is it. Like there's not much more around the corner. So it's like this, my nook, and the hallway closet space. This one we kind of use for bed linens and then coats and sweaters and stuff, because that's the kind of thing we kind of use the least of is the coats. So we just kind of store them in here. More of our everyday stuff over in the nook, and then obviously in the living room. So it's kind of all over the place. We're kind of working towards figuring that out, like maybe putting some wardrobes in here, but we're not quite sure yet. Yeah, Chris has his like surfboards and skateboard here, and then Chris has a couple amps as well. It's one of my bedside tables that no longer fit on either side of our bed, so it's not enough room. So I have one here, and then you probably saw one in the nook. I still really like them. I don't want to get rid of them, but right now it's kind of just holding up our new projector. So this is what I got for Chris for Christmas. And he wanted this. So it's a Samsung ultra short throw projector, which is super cool because it's not one that you like mount on the ceiling or anything. You just put it like a few inches away from the wall and it projects like right in front of itself. So it's getting a little dark out, so hopefully we can kind of see it, but all the speakers and everything are already in it. And I kind of like moved this. That's why it's like not even anymore. But obviously like the further you pull it away from the wall, the bigger it is. We're actually going to get a screen and like blackout curtains in here, because when we work night shifts, it's like brutal how bright it is in here. It's literally the brightest room in the house, which is kind of nice, like to wake up to the light, but also I just need to sleep. Here, let me see if I can pull it out a bit. So yeah, this is kind of how we have it right now. Like I said, we want to get a full screen that would kind of take up this entire wall because it goes up to 120 inches. So yeah, hopefully we're going to be able to get a screen like that out here. But also we're excited because we're going to have like movies outside too in the summer. So let me see. So these doors actually go to our backyard. We do live in a duplex, so we have a neighbor over here, but she is super cool, really nice. Yeah, basically our idea is to get patio furniture for here, and then more like loungers maybe down here, or maybe the opposite. Maybe loungers up here, maybe more of like table chairs down here. I don't know. But yeah, and then get like a screen for this so that we can just, yeah, put the projector right in front of it and watch movies at night. Get some like string lights from the trees. I think it'll be so nice. So yeah, that's kind of it. Actually, something else that I really wanted to show that was kind of like our creative addition was these coasters that we made. So we actually went to a restaurant, the Spanish restaurant, and they had Spanish tiles as coasters. And we thought that was such a good idea. So we went to a Spanish tile place, and then we ordered cork from Amazon, like the sticky cork, and we just put them on the back. We should have gotten like a thicker cork because this is actually quite thin, but we just cut it out and stuck it to the back. But yeah, so we got all these Spanish tiles and we just use them as coasters when guests come over. We got like 2 of like most designs. But yeah, it was just something cool we saw at the restaurant and we're like, ooh, we should do that because they actually look so good on the table, you know, underneath a cup. Okay, so that's it for this video. Sorry, if I look different or sound different, it's because I'm actually re-recording this ending because last time I recorded it, it was super blurry. So I just wanted to say thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the tour. But before you leave, I actually realized I forgot to show one of the most important parts of Chris and I's home. So I'll show that just after this. And also it's been like, I think it's been a few days since I recorded, so I actually did tidy up my nook a bit more. So like a little bit of an update and progress photo, if you will, or progress video, and it only gets better. But okay, but yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope this kind of gives you a look into kind of like the style and the home that we live in, and this has actually really motivated me in the past few days to get more things done and kind of make it even more of a home for us, which is why I tidied the nook. But yeah, I'll show you one of the most important parts in the home, and that is our snack drawer. Chris and I are big snack people, and so we have a whole snack drawer. It's mostly chocolate right now. We have chocolate we got chocolates from like Mexico, little like snackies from Mexico. This is chocolate from Canada, from Portland, more Mexico. Thought that one was really cool. This is just holiday chocolates, and these are my favorite. These are my favorite like store chocolates. Like at Sprouts. They're usually like 2 for $6 maybe, or 2 for $8. And yeah, the salty dark chocolate is my favorite. And ooh, and then we got gifted this from Andrew Nicole. It's chocolate from Hawaii. And then we have like, I do keep the chocolate chips in here, even though I have been doing more baking, i.e. I made like 1 recipe in the last month, but I do snack on these sometimes. And we have like mints in the back when we're like, we want to snack, but we know we shouldn't. I feel like mints are a good way to like curve the snacking. But they've gone relatively untouched in the past like 4 months. And then Chris has like, I don't know, these seeds are more for like long drives. And that's the snack drawer. We still have like chippies and stuff. We keep that in the cupboard, but this is like the snack drawer. And then the nook. So I tidied it up, mostly just like the lower part. Don't. This is still a mess. Actually, I kind of organized this a bit, but I'm gonna organize it more later. But I mean, this was relatively the same before. The drawers are more emptied. I'm gonna move stuff around, but I organized this part, which is a lot nicer. Our shoes are better, his and hers, and our clothes are more organized, and it just looks more spacious. That's a nook update. And yeah, that's it. Thanks again for coming along on this tour of our home, and have a great week. See you soon. Bye.